before I start, I'm waiting for your questions if you have any. Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So please pay attention to what I am doing. Okay, try to find it, try to see it, that this is the RBI website and we can find some information relevant to us here. Are you all able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, we keep on, I keep on telling you that y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. So if you see it here, you can see that this is private final consumption expenditure. Okay, this is C, what we talk about. And then government final consumption expenditure, so this is G. Gross fixed capital formation, this is I. That's how you try to understand that how GDP is equal to y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. You have export of goods and services and import of goods and services. So you take the net of these values. Similarly, we can also get the values of disposable income for the economy. Now, suppose we take and these values are in rupees crores. So you can download the data direct from here. So what we will do,
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
so now let us try to understand that if the non-proportional relationship exists, or we can, have you all noted down these figures? In case I lose the connection, network connection, you all write it down so that you can on your own calculate it by using the formula. Write down these figures and then we'll try to calculate APC. Note it down fast. So you know that if you want to find out APC, what you are doing is C by Y. So suppose 2018-19. And suppose you try to find out the same value for 2020-21. So you are just taking the proportion of GDP which is in form of consumption, or the share of GDP spent as consumption expenditure in the economy. Is this okay? Are you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
Okay. Now, if we have to find out delta C by delta Y, how do we do this? You need to find out the change in consumption and change in GDP. That means delta C will be equal to one two three 0.90 minus, okay, and delta Y will be equal to so suppose we do this 1230.90. So delta C will be equal to delta C by delta Y. Now you find out delta Y. Yes. Now you do this 108.7 . what you get as MPC is 0.74. Okay, you have to do the same exercise for the next time period. This calculation is necessary for you to do on your own and understand, because in exam every time you will get these type of calculations. The number will differ. The number can be small numbers, it can be big numbers, but you have to calculate the APC, MPC and draw the graph. So please do it. Now, if you can see, you are getting delta C as a negative value. Now, Keynes was not talking about this, because according to Keynes, delta C will never decline. But at the same time, you understand that Keynesian consumption function says that as the income increases, consumption increases. So if the income is decreasing, then consumption is decreasing. And you can see it clearly from the data. The GDP value for the year 2021 is lesser than the GDP value of 2019-20. Okay, so GDP has actually declined. So because GDP has declined, so consumption expenditure has also declined. And in this case, your MPC is becoming greater than 1. Okay, so it is again not in line with the assumption of the Keynesian function. What does the Keynesian function tells you? Keynesian function says that the value of MPC is the value of MPC and APC has to be the value of MPC and MPS should be equal to 1. So in the case of 0.74, your MPC value is less than 1. So if you deduct it by 1, then what you are getting is the value of MPS. So MPC is 0.74 and MPS will be 26 is equal to 1. So this is for the year 2019-20. But now if you calculate the same thing for 2021, how you are getting this? See, MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. Now what is happening is MPC is 1.22. So when you have to deduct 1.22 from 1. So in the year 2020-21, the marginal propensity to save is becoming negative. Why? Because the income is decreasing. So you know that there is a positive relationship between consumption as well as income. So as the consumption, income and savings, right? So as the income is decreasing, saving is decreasing, the marginal propensity to save is decreasing, and the MPC is becoming greater than 1. Are you all able to understand calculation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is one set of numbers which we have used. You can use any number. Wherever you will study, you will find some numbers given to you, and then you can work on the APC, MPC, and remember this: Y is equal to C plus S, and S is equal to Y minus C. So any of the two information, if it is given to us, the value of Y and value of C or S, any two information given to us, we will find out the value for the third variable, and then we will calculate these values: MPS, MPC, APS, APC, and we are trying to prove this relationship. So there are 2-3 things which you should remember according to the psychological law of consumption in the Keynesian theory, Keynesian consumption theory. As income. Now when we are saying here income, what does income means? Income can be expressed as GDP or disposable income. As disposable income increases, and disposable income is shown as YD. Consumption increases at a decreasing rate. Therefore, savings increases at an increasing rate. In other words, when YD rises, APC declines and APS increases. Okay, but MPC and MPS remains constant. So this was proposed in the theory, but actually with the real data, maybe we will not be able to find the same relationship. And remember, Keynesian consumption function is related to the short run. So we can always take the data from 1950-51 to 2020-21 for the Indian economy, say for example, and we can calculate the C and S and APC, MC, MPS, APS values, and then we can find out that is there a short run relationship or is there a long run relationship between consumption and income. So if you use the diagram to show the same thing, what you are saying is Keynesian consumption function is looking like this. Actually, the Keynesian consumption function which Keynes was talking about was looking like this. Okay, but generally we don't take this curve, but we take a straight line. Okay, so Keynesian consumption function is shown like this, where C is equal to C0 plus Cy. But if you take the Keynes consumption function proposed by other economists, who criticized Keynes, that consumption function is like this. C is equal to Cy. So this is long run. In the long run, if your income is zero, your consumption is zero. And as the income increases, consumption increases. So in this case, because this is a straight line starting from origin, APC and MPC will be equal. MPS is marginal propensity to save. Okay, but in this case, because Keynesian consumption function is the short run consumption function, so in this case, now let us go back to the calculation and try to see it. Here in this case, what you find is when APC is 0.60, MPC is 0.74. Okay, so APC is lesser than MPC. So in the Keynesian consumption function, they are not equal to each other, but so APC is not equal to MPC. They are different from each other. Maybe MPC will be greater than APC. So MPC is your marginal propensity to save. MPC is marginal propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to consume. What do you mean by marginal propensity to consume? Marginal propensity to consume means that as the income rises, what is the proportion of income which is spent for consumption? That's how you are saying delta C by delta Y. If you will talk about MPS, then you will say marginal propensity to save means what? The proportion of income which is spent for saving or which is used as saving as the income is increasing. So marginal propensity to save. So what is marginal propensity to save? Delta S by delta Y. So if the income is changing, what is the proportion of that change income or increased or decreased income, which is going for consumption and saving. And that is how you are saying MPC is MPC plus MPS should be equal to 1. That means delta C by delta Y plus delta S upon delta Y should be equal to 1. So why it is equal to 1? Because your assumption is that Y is equal to C plus S. Okay? Is all okay? Now can you understand? Suppose you have a question or explain the Keynesian short run consumption function. So you know that you can explain that what is consumption function, then what is the relationship between C and Y, and then how do you explain the relationship? You explain the relationship through 4 variables, that is MPC, MPS, APC, APS. Is it okay? Do you have any question? Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a break-even point in consumption function. Ma'am, it is important to write.
Where are you reading this break-even point in consumption function? From where
Ma'am, in Paul Samuelson, where consumption is equal to saving, that is break-even point.
Okay. APS, see, I'm writing it because so that you don't forget. APS is equal to average propensity to consume. That means C by Y, the ratio of consumption to income. This is APC. Okay. APS is equal to average propensity to save that is equal to S by Y. So the ratio between consumption and income, or you can say the share of consumption or saving in total income, and MPC, MPS is the share of consumption or saving with respect to the change in income. So one is C by Y, the other is delta C by delta Y. So now let us move further and let us try to understand one more thing. Here you are taking income level. Okay. Here you are taking, say, consumption, savings, both if you take. So your consumption function is looking like this. And you are saying C is a function of Y. Okay. So as Y increases, C increases. S is a function of Y, that is savings is a function of Y, and Y is equal to C plus S. So S is equal to Y minus C, right? So if you deduct the consumption from income you will get savings. So because saving is the amount which is the difference between income and consumption, you will find that this equal distance, which you are saying as C0, you will find it here. Suppose we take this. So this is C is equal to C0 plus Cy. This is minus S0 plus Sy. This is your saving function. And this is your consumption function. So when autonomous consumption is positive, there will be some part of savings which will be negative. So in this case, what you are saying is at the point where S, if Y is equal to C, then S is equal to 0. So this is a point where your consumption is just equal to income. So the household is not saving anything, but consuming the whole income. So you can see that in this case, Y is equal to C. This is the point where Y is equal to C. Now, before this, if you see before this, your C is greater than Y. If you see this, C is lesser than Y. So these are the two situations which you are getting. When the income is low, when the income is low, C is greater than Y. As income rises, C and S both increases. Now in this diagram, suppose we want to find out the equilibrium level. So what we'll do, we'll use a 45-degree line. Okay. Now this 45-degree line is Y is equal to C plus S. This is a 45-degree line. 45-degree line always shows the equality of two variables on the X and Y axis. Okay. Now this is Y is equal to C plus S and this is your C. This is C is equal to C0 plus Cy. So this point this is the point of income, say Y0. Okay. At Y0, C is equal to Y, therefore S is equal to 0. So if you will draw the S line here, you will find that S line is crossing from here. Okay. Now you can very well see that before this point, say you talk about this income when it was y0 dash. So you can understand that saving was negative because saving is here and your consumption is more than income. Okay, or you take an income level here, say y1. In case of y1, what you will find that say consumption is lesser than saving. The line of consumption is below the 45-degree line. So the distance between these two, y and c, will be s. Okay, and this is that positive saving. As the income increases, savings increases. So when the income is low, consumption is more than the income. There is a point where consumption and income becomes equal. So this can be termed as a break-even point where the economy is consuming the whole income, is not saving. But after a certain level of income, as the income level rises, savings rises. So savings rises means APC is declining. That means consumption is rising at a slower rate and saving is rising at a higher rate or increasing rate. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So generally, when we talk about Keynesian consumption function, it appears to be more applicable for developing countries or low developing economies. Why? Because in these economies, the consumption level is much higher. Because people have low level of income, so the large part of income is spent on consumption and saving is very low. But if you talk about developed economies, if you talk about high income economies, so the Keynesian consumption function may not appear to be true in those economies. May not appear, I'm saying. I'm not saying that it is definite. Okay? So this is the Keynesian consumption function. Now, if you have understood this, tomorrow we'll talk about investment. Because if you remember, there are two important relationships which we are talking about. Y is equal to C plus S. So we have done this. Now what is left for us to understand is Y is equal to C plus I. So this component I, we will be discussing. Investment. Why we will be discussing investment or why Keynes is putting emphasis on investment? Because in order to determine the level of income, investment is necessary. Investment is compulsory. Investment is one of the important component to determine the level of income. So for income determination in the Keynesian system, for income determination, two variables are important. C, that is consumption. Now, when we say consumption, you understand that this is consumption expenditure and investment. So investment is always in the form of expenditure. Okay. So we'll discuss this tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.